Now, regular viewers of the Daily Politics may have watched this on Wednesday lunchtime.
George Galloway.
Following yesterday's announcement, will the Prime Minister adumbrate for the House the key differences between the hand-chopping, throat-cutting jihadists fighting the dictatorship in Mali that we are now to help to kill, and the equally bloodthirsty jihadists that we are giving money, materiel, political and diplomatic support to in Syria? Has the Prime Minister read Frankenstein, and did he read it to the end?
Well, some things come and go, but there is one thing that is certain. Wherever there is a brutal Arab dictator in the world, he'll have the support of the honourable gentleman.
Well, that was David Cameron's response. It caused a little bit of an upset, actually. Some viewers to our programme thought it was a tad rude. We tried to get Mr. Adam Brait, to join us today, but he was unavailable. Instead, we have the Respect MP, George Galloway. He's the man who asked the question. He's got the same excellent suit and waistcoat, but not the tie.
I lost the tie. I only wear ties
morning
in the,
dressing. Now, when you asked that question, did you not think that you were opening yourself to the response that you got?
Well, not from that particular pot. To call this kettle black when he promptly flew off to pose for pictures with the dictator of Algeria and is busily selling as many weapons as he can to every brutal Arab dictator that will pay. No, but in any case, vulgar abuse does not an answer make. And what your viewers have been saying to you is of a par with what's being said to me. Actually, that's quite an interesting question. I wonder what the answer is. David Cameron certainly didn't give it.
On behalf of the AfD Group, Mr Farage.
President Hollande, despite your own views, you're doing rather a lot for the Eurosceptic debate in France. The decision to reduce the retirement age, to increase the minimum wage, but above all, of course, the hate tax, to make sure that all your successful entrepreneurs and now footballers are fleeing France, means that the competitiveness gap between France and Germany is getting wider. That is now being reflected in a flight of capital from French banks. And people are beginning to notice that actually, ultimately, the euro is not just doomed in the Mediterranean, but it's going to be impossible for France and Germany to stay together inside the same economic and monetary union. So, on the basis that your employment minister says the country is bankrupt, what do? Well, the old trick, launch a foreign military intervention. So your troops go off to Mali, and yes, it's very good to see the smiling faces in Timbuktu for the moment, but you've done this on behalf of the European Union. It is now an EU mission. Just 2 days ago, Tony Blair said the European Union is not about peace, the European Union is about power. I think what he meant is the European Union increasingly will be about war, because the response to Mali, the response to it being an EU mission, and we've heard it all round the chamber today, the Liberals urging us to intervene militarily in Syria, support from right and left in this House that the EU should intervene militarily. I have to say this, if you really think that taking on fundamentalist radical Islam in battle is something that we can somehow succeed in, I suspect we will launch ourselves in the same way we have in Afghanistan, on a decade of unending, unwinnable misery. I do not want the United Kingdom to be part of a militaristic, warlike European Union, and that's the speech that I've heard both from you, President Hollande, and from most people in this chamber today.